in love gets cancer, you know, because before that, cancer was just a 6-letter word that never happened to anybody I knew, and so we appreciate all the love and support everybody's given us, and you know, there's a big story to how we got through it, and so you want to talk about it?
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you.
We love you, Ted.
So he's absolutely right. I found the lump the day before Super Bowl, so on February 1st in the shower, and went to the doctor on that day, which was a Saturday, and then he said, don't leave the country, don't go anywhere, this needs to be looked at right away. And Ted and I and Mom were scheduled to go to Denmark some 10 days later, so obviously we didn't get to go. So I went in on Monday, and we lost the Super Bowl on Sunday. I went in on Monday, and on Wednesday, that's when they said I had invasive ductal cancer. And I was all for, oh, okay, so we'll just take off my breast and it'll all be gone, but that didn't work out for me that way. And you hear stories that, oh, you get to have and to make lots of decisions and tell the doctors what you want. That didn't happen for me. So I had an aggressive form, and they wouldn't let me go to Denmark, and so on the day that we were supposed to board an airplane, I was getting my port put in. And so the whole 2 weeks after that, Ted would be like, we could be getting on the airplane right now. We could be getting a drink right now. We could be cruising right now. We could be in Denmark right now. Oh, we could be in Paris right now. So for 2 weeks. And it was quite funny. I was like, so we are scheduled to go back to Europe, and we'll be going in March of next year. So we're very, very happy. I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all of my friends. You are all here, and what you all have in common is that you supported me with love, with prayers. I was just talking to Corinne. She had put my name into the LDS temple for prayer. My sweet friend Shirley has been praying, and most of these cards, at least 70% are Shirley's. So she never let me, be alone through this whole thing. And I love you so much, Shirley. And I'm going to zigzag, and I don't mean to, but so I was scheduled to go to surgery on July 21st, which happens to be my sister-in-law's birthday. So I didn't say happy birthday to you this year, Jan. Happy belated birthday. I normally call her. And I sent a text to Shirley, and it was just a general text, and she knew something was up, and so she said, "What's wrong?" So I lost a very dear cousin 2 days before, and his sweet daughter Brianna is here today. He was a very beloved cousin. He was 46 years old, and he died suddenly and unexpectedly, and so I was definitely shaken. I mean, I knew I had to go into surgery, but that definitely threw me off my game. And Shirley sent the most beautiful text back and said, "Honey, your cousin is in heaven, and he's rooting for you, and and that he would be telling, God on the other side to help me out." And I knew exactly that that's what he would be doing. And so because of her words, I went in the next day with no problems, because I didn't know that that was true. So I know God works in mysterious ways. So thank you, Shirley, very much. I appreciate you so much. And she came and sat with me also one time through chemo, and she sent my name to, and we're going to have to get this name right, but to a convent on the East Coast, and it's a bunch of nuns, and don't they wear pink? The Pink Sisters. And so they prayed for me as well. And my mom, she was with me throughout this whole thing as well. And I remember Mom saying she had gone to sleep, but she had said a prayer and had gone to sleep, and then got up and called me, and she had to say another prayer. And I kept saying, "Mom, it's okay. One prayer a night's good. I got it covered. I have so many friends praying for me." And so that she could relax. And so she's been there with me. So I had a very tight crew who sat with me in chemo, and I had to go 6 times every 3 weeks. And so my girlfriends Kimberly, Liz, and Colleen, and she's not here, and Andrea, they were there. There's Andrea. They were there for 5 of the chemos, and there would be other people that would come through as well. And Alexandra will testify to this. I took her to the infusion center, and the nurses said, "Oh yeah, your mom's group was really loud." And she said it was a party, that we had a party, and the secretaries would come around and see who it was, and it was us. And the nurses told us, "Hey, you don't need to be quiet. You just need to let us have the way to walk, so that she could turn us back." So we were allowed to laugh, and I got some great stories, and they did make me laugh. So they even told me their most embarrassing stories. They told me anything and everything, and we just laughed and laughed, and it was just a lot of fun. We even wrote haikus the first time. And so it was really wonderful. And then Shirley and Jennifer came, and Jennifer's not here. And I was so happy to be able to share one time with Shirley too. And you know, there's a core group of people, and they happen to be sitting over here. And people had made comments on Facebook to me, or sent me emails, or called me, and they said, "How can you be so positive through this?" Or "How can you be, basically positive?" But I was more than positive. I was actually every day getting up and willing myself to be, well, not willing myself, but choosing to be happy and joyful. And there's a core group of women here, and that's what we choose to do. We choose every day to appreciate what we have in our life, and then we choose who we want to be. And these are the women that do that with me. And so I'm so grateful, because this community allowed me to not think of cancer as something scary. They allowed me to just be who I was, which was happy. And I had a belief system, and it comes from Shirley, and just everybody, you know, that I was being cared for by God, you know, that everybody was praying for me, and I just felt and I knew that I would be okay. That may sound strange, but to be diagnosed and to know that you're going to be okay. But I did. I really, really felt that I was going to be okay. I didn't fear that I wouldn't be here today. I never did. And I was happy to be in a community that let me believe that. Nobody let me believe otherwise. And I was never shy to say, "Oh, I'm doing great." So, I mean, now chemo does take it out of you. That's still true, right? Chemo does take it out of you. But I didn't ever think, "Oh, this is going to last forever. Oh, this is going to be horrible forever." I just knew eventually it would go away. And, you know, of course there's 10.
Never a doubt. There was never a doubt that she was going to get better. I knew all along that she'd get through this.
Yeah. And so there's a group of you, or 2 handfuls of you, that have seen me bald-headed, because you've come to my home, and I bald at home. And I just want to say, you know, everybody that has been to my home have seen how much Ted has supported me, or any time in the hospital. And I think I'm richer than Bill Gates with my husband. I don't think he has anything like this. So, totally supported me and took care of me, and was my short order cook, ran up and down the stairs for me. It just did every single thing you could possibly imagine, and just stood by my side. And my mom would come over, and she would, when I would be out of chemo, and she would sleep with me or lay next to me in the bed during the day, and then she'd say, "Okay, Ted, it's your turn." Come and sleep with me at night, right? And she was there all the time for me. And so I appreciate you too, Mom, and love you very much. And Donna, my sister, she gave us the penthouse at Camlin, but it came It was during chemo time, so I didn't get to do very much except to go to the Cheesecake Factory. And when I was with chemo, I thought to myself, this is the adults' Chuck E. Cheese, because it's very loud, right? And Andrea, she has been the sweetest, most wonderful friend. And there's a whole group of pictures up there. And what Andrea did for me was to make sure we had constant parties. So you'll see a lot of parties up there. So there was a party before chemo, there was a party in chemo, and then I would have 2 weeks of, quiet, and she'd come and visit with me so I'd get out of bed and turn the tide. But then every Saturday before the Thursday before chemo, we would have another party at Andrea's house. And it was wonderful. And so she always kept my spirits up and would laugh with me, and we were never serious. And no, we're never serious. And I appreciated that. It just kept me going. And thank you. I love you. And so I know I'm forgetting a lot of people, and I don't mean to. I have incredible stepdaughters who were there for me as well, and very positive energy. So as soon as I got diagnosed, the energy just changed, and it was so beautiful, and I was fully supported. And of course, my kids, Alexandra, Colton, and Dylan.
Love you.
They are really the reason I'm here today. You don't know that, but when you're a mom one day, you'll get it. Or a dad for my boys. I always think about I can't leave you. And I'm so glad I'm still here today with you. And I know, Alexandra, you're upset with me because you didn't get to come over. When I was in chemo, I told her she had to stay in school. But I promised her if anything went sideways that she could come. But I love you three so much. Thank you. So I know I've babbled a lot. I didn't mean to go this long. But definitely stop and take a look at all of our pictures up there. Oh, and I can't forget, last but not least. So my Aunt Lilas is here, and she's in the back of the room. And she is my father's sister, so obviously I'm named after her, and I love her so much. And so my Aunt Lilas had esophageal cancer 5 or 7 years ago. It's been a long time now, right? But she's a 1%er. And when I would call, I would say, yeah, absolutely. And so when I got diagnosed, I called her, and I called her often, and she would always tell me to put on my boxing gloves, right? Put on your boxing gloves. And I remember one time complaining about the doctor, or telling the doctor that I didn't want to go through chemo anymore. And my Aunt Letta said, wear your boxing gloves. Because the chemo worked so well. The first time, my lump went down 47%. The second time, 87%. By the fourth time, it was totally gone. And so I figured, well, it's gone. So I don't have to do that anymore. But Ted, you can tell the rest of the story.
I made her go. But what really helped was knowing that her friends were going to be around her and that she would let them down if she didn't show up. So thanks for that support.
I love all of you, and each one of you have been so important to me. I mean, I don't care what people say about Facebook. I was loved through Facebook and supported through Facebook because I couldn't see all of you. But you all were right. I mean, I felt the love, and I knew that it was coming through. So I didn't just take it as just a few words. I mean, 160 comments, 200 and whatever. I don't know. I just felt completely loved, and I cherish all of you, and even my friends that aren't able to be here today that wanted to. I mean, everybody touched me, and here's what I want to say, the takeaway. And Shirley's the best at this in the whole entire world. Proof. If you know anybody that, it doesn't even have to be cancer, but anything, that they could be going through a crisis at work, they could be having a mom crisis, they could be having anything, reach out to them, because love solves everything. I swear, it solves everything. And picking up the phone, or calling, or sending a card, or a flower, or sending something on Facebook. Love is everything. And I felt it. I felt it so immensely, and I'm sure that that's the healing power for me. Not just medicine, because we knew medicine could work so well so fast. It can't just be that, right? So, because I'm never hearing anybody saying that their lump goes down 47% after the first time.
And let's be clear, she was not sick from the cancer. She was sick from the treatment.
Yeah, right.
And that's what's hard to overcome.
So it's Team Survivor Triathlon next September. I don't know if anybody wanted to say anything. Yeah. Oh, Hannah. Yes.
Hannah has
This is my beautiful stepdaughter.
she had an assignment last year to